Yo, Gray, MG just texted me that Rachel and her are gonna go get their nails and toenails done. They were wanting to know if we wanted to go. I'm down for a little mani-pedi action. What do you think?
No, dude. That's freaking
What's going on, all you comfortable creatures? My name is Mason.
And my name is Grayson.
And welcome to The Modern Dude.
A podcast by dudes, for dudes, helping dudes become better dudes.
Dude! Trying something new can be overwhelming, whether we as dudes want to admit it or not. Taking a step outside our comfort zone is not only important, but an invaluable thing for our personal growth.
Quaint. And yet very well said.
Yeah.
It's the button up, you know?
It's the button. Hey.
We didn't plan this, honestly.
We're doing a little more.
Just decided to, spoof it up. Go out of our comfort zone, if you will. Let's not go back to spoofing. Anyway. We decided to step out of our comfort zone with these button-up shirts, Normally we're t-shirt hoodie guys.
Yeah.
But
we're doing the button-up thing.
We had the same idea. It's great.
Yeah. So this one's pretty straightforward, but I think it's also this isn't one that I feel like people talk about really.
Stepping out of your comfort zone? Well, I guess we need to talk specifics because there's a lot of different aspects to what stepping out of your comfort zone can mean for people.
For sure.
I think,
and some things are appropriate, and then some things are just like, why not?
Exactly.
Yes.
I think first of all, at the base level of stepping out of your comfort zone, I think ultimately if you're not willing to do something, it's based around fear to an extent, right?
Absolutely.
Like you're scared to try something new based on the potential of an outcome being not what you want it to be, or you looking a certain way that you don't want to look, or getting in a situation where you're like uncomfortable or something like that.
Or bodily harm.
Right. Well, hopefully the thing that you're not stepping out of your comfort zone is like, hey, want to try this heroin with me?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, stupid example, but like going to play paintball, because that can fucking hurt, but it's also you might have a great time.
You might have a great time though. You might really love it.
And you might, that adrenaline rush might be really cool. Or the fear of getting hurt and jumping out of an airplane.
Right.
There's the fear of actual death.
That's an extreme one.
but people jump out of airplanes all the time.
They do it all the time, baby.
It's true.
They do it for a living.
Facts.
I don't know how much money can you make being a professional skydiver.
I'm sure there's some.
I mean, there are people that do it for a living.
One of my roommates, or a guy that lived above us in this duplex that we did, he was essentially a professional skydiver. He took people out skydiving. He worked at a skydiving airport or for a skydiving company.
He worked for a skydiving company.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
He must love that shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, this was back in 2010, I think.
In the
or
skydiving heyday.
No, this was 2008, and he'd already at that point he'd done well over 100 jumps.
Well over a hundo, baby.
Which means I'm sure he's done 1,000 plus at this point.
So crazy to me.
Yeah.
But again, for a lot of people, that's a giant step out of your comfort zone.
Hell yeah, I'm fucking terrified of jumping.
That's fear of death. That's maybe the most.
The pinnacle.
The pinnacle of stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But again, it still is based around fear,
Yeah.
And to let fear
drive you
or hinder you from doing certain things that could be incredible experiences or growth. I don't know. That doesn't really feel like something that you want to, get in the way of a exciting, healthy life. You know, I think it's fun to try new thing. Like try a new thing. Like come on, it can't be. Let's take skydiving out of the situation. It can't be that bad. Yeah. You know, it really at the end of the day, you will get done with it and you'll go, that's not for me, or wow, that actually really surprised me and I really, really loved that.
I am obsessed with this.
I am now obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Or any level in between. But at least you can walk away from that situation and you've like learned something. You've broadened your horizons in some way. And that is really incredible.
And that's what, I said in the intro, it's like growth, man. And I think we say that a lot in our intros. I feel it's like it's a word that we use a lot, but it's also, like you said, it's so important. Like everyone's personal journey is how you grow.
Yeah.
Like, and those things that make you grow.
Yeah.
So fear inhibits growth.
Right.
100%.
100%.
As the popular book Dune, now a major motion picture, says, fear is the mind killer.
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing is like you don't want to live under the auspice of fear. Yeah. You know, making that should not be the thing that's driving decisions that you make. I think ultimately another thing too that winds up happening is when you don't step out of your comfort zone, you wind up like shitting on things.
Oh God.
That you shouldn't. Shit on because you just don't know about it. It's so easy to make fun of a thing or, like talk down about a thing when you don't really know anything about it. The phrase "don't knock until you try it" is a phrase for a reason.
Yeah, and fear doesn't have to be something life-threatening or whatever. It can be as like I'm uncomfortable doing that, or the fear of like your peers
thinking something about you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shitting on you or what. Like that's like the mani-pedi thing we were talking about at the beginning. It's like, how is that really gonna affect your life? What if you really? Okay, so
it's called self-care.
Yeah, we've actually gone and had both manicures and pedicures, and they're awesome.
They're amazing. They're amazing.
And I think there's a niche of guys that do this, and it's self-care, and it makes you. For me, like it also like helps me not bite my damn nails.
Facts. You think The Rock don't be getting pedicures? He does. Trust me.
Does he?
I mean, well, anybody in Hollywood probably has to some extent.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Not only is it like it's not all about the nails, it's not all about your toenails and your fingernails. You're getting like a massage in that too. Like you're getting your arms massaged.
Yeah, and there's also like different types of like lotion and like tea
lotions
tree
and potions, baby.
Things that are good for you. Like
get
why
in
is
there
it
nice and deep like?
We don't like that. It's the kind of thing that, I understand that mindset that is, oh well, it's like.
That's girly
or whatever. It's like, but like, dude, who gives a shit? You walk out of there feeling refreshed, feeling really good, feeling like taken care of.
Relaxing.
Yeah, it's basically like getting a haircut to some extent. You're going somewhere, you're paying somebody for a service for you to walk out feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, and improving some aspect of your body,
Yeah.
And that's just a small example, But like that is something. Oh my gosh, when I was a younger man, I'm sure I shit on somebody for getting a manicure or getting a pedicure, or just being like, "Nah, man, I'm good.
I'm good. That's
I'm
not
straight,"
not
which is like.
Okay. It's basically what you're saying.
Also, PSA: stop saying things are gay because that's very 2010.
I feel like it's very 2021.
Yeah, 2001.
Like.
Anyways, so. Yeah, just shitting on stuff because you don't like it or because you're uncomfortable with it or you think it's awkward.
That's only because that's a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's from a lack of knowledge and ignorance, and you're just going to come off sounding ignorant if you say that. And for somebody to talk about it,
and look, there's like playful banter about that stuff. Be like, no, thank you, that's not for me. Or giving your buddy a hard time about getting a pedicure isn't the end of the world. That's fine.
No, but if they turn around and they're like, actually, man, it is like incredibly like relaxing and it feels really, really great to walk out of there and like be all clean. It also helps me for not biting my nails or picking my skin or
Yeah.
whatever. You have to at that point let the banter aside go and go, oh, I mean, that's great. I love that makes you feel good. Like, and it's like, hey man, I'm telling you, you should try it sometime.
Or you,
at least be willing to
or
consider.
you can be like, no thanks, man, not for me. Just not my thing. Don't want to do it. Oh, like I had a guy. Actually, it's funny. There's a guy at the bar the other night. Had his nails done, and I was like, oh, cool. You got a manicure? He's like, yeah, I went and did the whole thing. And I was like, oh, cool. I've actually done it. I've only got like the little gloss on there just to give it a shot. I didn't paint my nails full or anything. But have you ever done a pedicure? And he was like, no, my feet. I was a dancer. I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. That's,
well, that's what I mean. So
that's like, and that is, I mean, I guess technically that is him getting out of his comfort zone.
Well, that's what but then I said, I was like, dude, there's always been someone worse.
Yeah, trust
Someone
me.
has uglier feet,
Trust
gnarlier feet,
Trust me.
whatever. I was like, you should just do it. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
It feels great.
It feels amazing. I think the pedicure is way.
We got to get off the pedicure manicure thing.
I mean, it's a great example, though.
It's
a great example. And if it's not for you, that's fine. But like, don't judge it. And like, the whole point of this episode is to be willing to like step out of it. Be willing to consider it, even if it's not your thing.
Try it.
Why not try it? Why not still try it? Again, that's just fear of looking a certain way, being a certain way. Like, and if you go and you don't like it, you don't have to ever do it again.
I think there's an even deeper level than just like, painting your nails or trying a piece of jewelry on, trying rings, trying some new clothes. I think there's a level like, say you always wanted to go out for a play, you wanted to audition for something.
Sure.
Obviously, you don't have to jump straight to Broadway, but like go do local theater,
Right.
But it's like something you want to try.
Jump straight to Broadway because that's how it works.
That's how it works.
I'm just gonna walk into the Broadway.
No, but I mean, like giving something a shot that is intimidating, but you always wanted to try. I think that's the crucial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so than like, you don't need to go skydiving if it's not something you want to do. However, if it is something you always wanted to try,
but you're afraid to,
but you're a little nervous about it.
Nervous about it. Absolutely, you should chase that feeling.
I think there is there's like that growth and that like excitement. That's what makes life fun, man.
Right.
When you try new things, it's like, oh gosh, you learn so much about yourself, and like that rush can be so exhilarating.
Right.
And like even for like going to an audition for your local community theater, like you go in there and if you like nail it, that's amazing. Like that feeling might be great of like, wow, I sang that song really well. That's really fun.
Regardless of the outcome.
Or you go in and you're like, wow, I really bombed that. But I'm really glad I tried it.
But at least you tried it.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next, probably most important point that I preach about all the time in my regular life is regret.
Oof.
You don't want to look back when you're fucking 60, 70 and go, when you aren't even capable really of doing it anymore and regret that you didn't try a thing.
No regrets.
No regrets, man. Zero regrets.
Hashtag Milky Way.
Like, to me, it's like, you're just, to look back and say that you didn't do those things. My grandparents have looked at me, rest in peace, but when they would look at me and they would say, I'm so happy that you're doing these things that you wanted to do. I never did those things.
Yeah.
I wanted to try some of these things. I am in awe that you have taken steps to try to do whatever when you could have just played it safe and done this.
Yeah.
Not that you have to be that person, but for me, it's like, even if you've done it, like we've said, even if you try it and it goes super poorly, doesn't matter because you can say that you did it.
Yeah.
And that way, when people bring things up and they're talking about stuff, you're going to have a different like lens on what they're saying. If somebody's bringing up theater now, you can be like, you have a different, you're like, wow, actually, where I normally would have shit on that, I went up there and I tried it and it was hard as fuck and it freaked me out. And like, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that because it is, and you can like admire it in a different way.
Yeah.
It broadens your horizon.
It does.
You're looking at it in a different lens now, as opposed to, well, I've never done that and I don't want to do that. Or I've thought about maybe doing it, but I haven't. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's like, that's cool if it's not for you, but you can't shit on it just because you haven't tried it and you're going to regret it later in your life when you said you wanted to do a thing that you never did. It just, man, I guess I don't want to live that life.
No.
I don't want to look back and say that I didn't really try to, not even like chase one specific career goal. It's bigger than just like small things getting into your comfort zone. It's about a bigger picture,
bigger life experiences and stuff too, for sure.
Yeah, and it's about like not only regretting little things, like, I mean, you could still skydive at 50, but
Chris, and I'm gonna hit you with a little thing that we didn't talk about. Do you have something that you think you could pull up right now that you are intimidated about trying, or an experience?
You know, I mean, this isn't like crazy because it's still sort of within the same vein of what I'm doing, but you know, as I guess some people know, and obviously, as you know, I've been a musician and a songwriter for a really, really long time. And as much as I know how to produce a little bit, the side of music that is like sitting at a board and like creating music, building it, like building beats and building like a full piece outside of just me like sitting down and like writing songs on my piano or whatever, that is a completely different art from what I do. And it's always blown my mind that people can do it. Mm-hmm. And it is something that I have always myself wanted to do, but I fear taking off for a year or so and going to class and learning the technique that is actually producing. Because if I did, I think it would really up my game in my career in so many ways. But I'm already on this other path. I'm already on this other trajectory. But it is something that I have really, the idea of that I have played around with a lot, but it's scary. It's scary to go and have to like sacrifice other things and money and time and then get out of it. And like, I'm still so behind so many other people who have already learned all these crazy intricacies.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
that's their journey, that's not yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's their journey. That's a great thing. That's their journey, and it's not my journey.
Yeah.
And that's still within a lane of myself. It's not like I'm starting from like complete scratch. I still have a musicality about me, which would help. But
I'm going to share one of mine too. I've even talked to Tyler Milliron,
shout out Tyler Milliron,
beautiful studio we are currently in and have been for this whole new podcast that we're doing. We talked about things that like we want to do in our future and like things that we want to chase. And I've had a couple people, I think Tyler was one of them, was like, I think you would be good at doing stand up. Sure. I think you would thrive in that.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of poo-pooed it, and I've always kind of shat on.
Not poo-pooed it.
Yeah.
Not poo-pooed and shat on it.
Just because I just like I act. That's not really my thing. I've never really. I don't know. I've like just not. It just wasn't for me.
Sure.
But some of that is because I think I actually would be good at it, and I think I would really like it.
Yeah.
But I've never like sat down, pen and paper, and like tried to write something out. And then the thought of like going up and in front of a bunch of people as me, as Mason Walters, and doing a comedy is much more intimidating to me than going and performing as
a character.
A character, exactly. Yeah. So now I think from this conversation, I think that we should walk the walk a little bit and like try and work on that. Like. I challenge you to look up a program that is
within the means of like
I
can really do.
You could do something online because you do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on your plate. However, there's always more time. Sure. And if you make it a priority, then it definitely becomes a part of your.
Well, the thing is, on a personal note, I spread myself too thin sometimes, and I would have to like really figure out a way to, like, while also none of us are made of money. So like without being able to also work, I would have to figure out ways.
Have you even looked into it?
Right. Exactly. There's like one program that I know that I could do, but I haven't It's just like, I just know that there's a program
Sure.
that people have done before that's like a year thing. That's
All
it.
I'm doing is challenging you to look into it.
And I challenge you to write a 5-minute,
Perfect.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I did stand up one time. Somebody said the same thing to me. They were like, I think you'd be great at stand up. And it kind of scared the shit out of me. But the bar that I was working at happened to be doing like stand up comedy on certain days of the month. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write a 5-minute and I'm gonna do it. And I wrote 5 minutes worth of comedy and I went up and it went pretty well.
Yeah.
And then I got off and I said, I don't ever want to do that again. I want to cut my losses and feel good about that.
That's
it
fine.
went good
Yeah.
at a mediocre level. I got some laughs, some things landed, and I stepped off and I said, all right, great. I wasn't like addicted to it afterwards. I didn't want to like,
But you're glad you tried it.
but I'm glad I tried it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that when you brought up stand up and you were like, it's something I've always wanted to do. I'm like, and it's something I've always wanted to do too. And I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
You know, I almost didn't. I almost like didn't.
Yeah.
Our friend, the guy that used to do events at the bar, you remember Adrian?
Adrian, of course.
Yeah. He was like, bro, you're funny. Just do it. Just try.
Yeah.
And you're an actor. You already kind of have
Sure.
that comedy
The
on
comedic
stage.
timing, yeah.
It's a different thing when it's your comedy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's your life experiences that you're writing down.
You're
it's a different
putting
beast.
yourself out there. There's a vulnerability
Yeah.
to that. And that's where the fear comes in.
Exactly. And that's what this whole episode's about. Is
yeah.
like being vulnerable enough to like with yourself to try something.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is admirable.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is funny.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is relatable.
Very so.
So
yeah.
to try to mask those feelings
Yeah.
or try to not, let them loose and put that vulnerability into situations
Sure.
that you wouldn't normally because it's more comfortable to keep them somewhere else. Stunting personal growth again.
Yeah.
We're all about growth here.
Yeah.
And it could really help your mindset and your personal journey for
You just
who you
find
wanna be.
something about yourself that you didn't know, probably.
And that is so liberating.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, for sure. Is that
I think that's it.
is that what we got, baby?
Zaga, zaga, zaga.
Yeah. I think
Cool.
that's it.
All right, guys. Transition. We hope you have enjoyed this conversation today.
Actually, you know what? Let's just with this, let's for those watching, not homework, but like I challenge you to do something. It doesn't have to be monumental, but like think about something in your life that you've always wanted to do. It can be big, it can be monumental, but it also can be small, as like going to get a manicure and a pedicure.
Or switching from 2% to almond. I know it's scary.
But like literally, like I fucking poo-pooed the whole transition of almond milk. I was like, I fucking like milk, man.
So much poo-poo today.
And I don't love almond milk, but I really like oat milk. Is what I found out.
We love oat milk.
Yeah. So like little things like that, they're just conversation starters. They're growth. There's just things that you can talk about and that you can be like, oh wow, I really like that.
And be willing to like it.
So I challenge you all to try something new because you might just like it.
Ding. So, with that being said, we hope you've enjoyed the discussion today. I know that we did. If you have any questions or comments or general kerfuffle, you can always go to graysonandmason.com to reach out to us and for all of our latest content. And for anything on social media, we are The Modern Dude. And don't forget...
What are we not forgetting today?
The same thing I say every time, Mason. Do your dude diligence.